Hello! Sorry, a little bit over exuberant there. And welcome to Double Feature, our running review series where an anime addict and a horror whore swap films, and I subject Alan to a number of ridiculous and sometimes bad horror movies, and Alan's...
I don't think you've shown me anything really bad yet.
No, not yet. And Alan subjects me to his anime fetish. Anyway, so...
That's quite accurate.
Yeah, so this week I gave you...
Yes, this week Mike gave me Session 9, which, as far as I can understand, is the direct predecessor to CSI Miami. It's a film...
It's not. It's really not.
Which, basically it stars Peter Mullen and David Caruso, principally, as the heads of an asbestos cleanup crew who are hired to clean out an old insane asylum. As they get drawn into what they're doing, one of their cleanup crew members discovers a stash of old tapes of an interview with one of the patients at the insane asylum, in which she describes quite vividly her multiple personality disorder. And as time wears on, as we work our way through the tapes towards the inevitable Session 9, one of the cleanup crew members goes missing, and they all start to point the finger at each other, suspecting that one of them may have bumped him off quietly in the darkness. And I think that's, again, probably as much as I can say.
I really like that, the way you said "in the darkness." That was really ominous, and that was good.
I found that it was a sort of classic case of close but no cigar with this one.
Right,
to be honest, yeah. Because I thought there was a lot to like about the film. The location is amazing. I mean, I gather it is, or at least it was a real insane asylum that they used for it. And I think that a lot of what appears in the film in the way of props and stuff is actually just stuff that was there. I think it said there's only like a few things that they had to bring in. The rest of it was just stuff that was...
I didn't know that.
I was reading a little bit on the IMDb. Everything about it really has a great atmosphere. You've got the dust coming out of the walls, the feeling that even that is sort of could be slowly killing them. You got the very real sense of malice coming from the location. It's really well shot. I mean, it looks fantastic. It's
but it's shot on video.
Yeah, that's the other thing, that this, I believe, was one of the first projects to be done in 24p.
May very well have been. I don't know, but I do know it was shot on video. And
yeah.
You can tell, but the framing of the shots, the composition of the shots are so good. I think it's a great example of how, it doesn't matter really what format you shoot on, you can still make something look good.
Absolutely, yeah. The script was well handled, it was extremely well acted. I think the cast were uniformly excellent. I mean, Peter Mullen was...
David Caruso.
Yeah! That was what I was wanting him to do throughout the whole film.
He does have a moment like that where he goes, "Fuck you!"
I remember you mentioned that, and then when I saw it, I was just like, oh.
That clip goes around the internet all the time.
I couldn't believe it.
Because it's just this the camera pans right up to David Caruso's face, and he just goes, "Fuck you!"
It's just the way he says
that's
it.
Army. But otherwise he's really good.
Other than that, yeah, he is very good in it. He really is. But the problem that I had with it though is that I feel there's two distinct films going on here, and they don't quite tie into each other. Because you've got the story that's taking place in the present about the cleanup crew and what they're going through, the psychological effects that the job is having on them, and you've also got the sort of, I almost want to call it like a flashback story that the member of the cleanup crew going through these tapes is finding out about the woman with the multiple personality disorder, and everything in the film suggests that they should be related, but I just didn't feel that they were. Again, without wanting to ruin the ending, I didn't feel that the conclusion brought it all together as well as it should have. Because I think, if they were making some point about these things not being related, and that was obvious at the end that that was not what they were going for, then fair enough. But I just didn't feel that they quite brought it off in a way.
So good build up, no payoff, basically. Effectively,
yeah. Technically, I thought it was really, really good. It was just that I think it's probably going to appeal more to people that are interested in horror as a genre. The people that would go out and look for B movies and stuff with things that have interesting things going on. But as an evening's entertainment, I think I felt a little bit let down by it in the end.
Well, I could not disagree with Alan more. What I would say about Session 9 is there are loads of hints that have been put in the film to allow you to interpret it in a completely different way, in a variety of really, really different ways. I found it that it's constructed cleverly, and it's got loads of different layers in there, and that there are loads of things in there that point you in different directions. And it is a film like The Shining, where you have to go and watch it again and again and again. Unlike The Shining, the conclusions that you can actually draw at the end of the film are more easily come to, the more concrete.
You know, I think what you said is quite a good idea, actually. That, you know, that is a really interesting way of looking at it, but I do feel that I would be more inclined personally to look at it in that way if it worked at face value as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I feel that it's one of these things that it would need to work as it is before I would spend,
and then you can peel away at it and look at other levels. I agree with what you're saying, but there was something hypnotic about this film. Now I have to say, as much as I suggested this to you, I only watched it recently.
I think I remember you saying that, yeah.
It was a film, it was released in 2001, and it was a film that slowly people, you know, it was one of those ones that just sort of, I think, went to like DVD. And
yeah, I think I remember this being like on the Sci-Fi Channel pretty soon after it came
no one really
out,
talked about it, and then I think people started watching it and going on the internet and saying, you know, this is good.
They started going on the internet and saying, fuck you!
I think what I would say about it is, if you are like Alan and you think it doesn't work, you know, with, you know, good build up, you know, without the payoff, or you're like me and you think that it's really multifaceted and it works on so many different levels, either way, I think on the budget that they had and shooting on video and all that, I think they did a brilliant job.
I mean, I think basically until they hit about, you know, the last, say, you know, 5-10 minutes or so, I was completely gripped by the film until that point. I mean,
that's a shame though. Yeah. Like, all I can say is go and watch it. It's, in some quarters it's highly rated, in other quarters it's not.
I did get that feeling reading online that the opinion does seem to be really split about it.
Yeah. And to me, when I read people's opinions about it and listening to you as well, to me, and I'm not saying, by the way, that people who take it at face value are missing anything at all. What I'm saying is that if you interpret the story as exactly what happened, then you're probably not going to enjoy it as much. So, yeah, you know, this might just seem like greed, but product placement.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This is great. This week I thought we'd come back to Hayao Miyazaki with another of his films, Laputa Castle in the Sky.
And it's the same guy that did
It's the same guy that did Cagliostro, yeah. I thought this might be a good break from the kind of hard science fiction we've been doing lately.
It's after Akira and Ghost in the Shell. This was like a complete breath of fresh air. Laputa Castle in the Sky is a science fantasy film revolving around trying to find this almost mythical ancient floating city that is hidden in the clouds. There are two main characters. One is called Shita, and the other one is called Patsu.
Pazu, I think.
Pazu. They are both orphans, and who both, for their own reasons, want to find castle. Patsu's father supposedly found it once before and photographed it, and he wanted to prove that his father wasn't lying about it. And Shita has a connection to it that I don't want to ruin. You've also got a group of pirates who go around the world in their airship and wreak havoc trying to find Shita, who has an amulet which they think will lead them to the castle. And then you also have the army who are trying to find it for their own military purposes. And then you also have these sort of they're the equivalent of like sort of secret agents.
Yeah, they have kind of secret police. Yeah.
Secret police, that sounds better. Not secret agents. It's not James Bond. Led by a guy called Muscas, and they are working kind of in tandem with the army, but they also have their own agenda.
Yeah.
So you've got all these people trying to find this castle, and the film follows the two orphans. They're the people that we're rooting for as they try to evade these other people, as they're all trying to kill each other and capture each other and get to this castle. I loved this film, right? I can't actually say enough how, you know, some films have magic in them, right? They go beyond just moving pictures, right? They actually, there's something in there that's just magical, you know, like The Wizard of Oz is magical when you watch it, right? And I felt Laputa Castle in the Sky had a magic in there. I loved the design of the robots and the castle in the sky and the airships that everyone's going around in, and the characters were fantastic. Especially the two main characters, the two orphans, just really well rounded, and all the characters had their own defined spaces and just really, I don't know, hit a nerve with me. I really enjoyed watching all of them. The soundtrack was brilliant, you know, like I thought the score was fantastic, you know, and the story, the whole story was really epic, but you know, it wasn't too convoluted, you know. And also, again, I watched it with the dub, which I believe was the new
yeah, I think this was the most recent one, yeah.
Disney dub, with Mark Hamill doing one of the voices. And I have to say, I thought out of all the dubs I've watched, it was the best one.
It is a very good one.
It felt just right.
Yeah, a lot of, I mean, I can't say that I've got a lot of experience of kind of sort of latter day family films, you know, but I feel that a lot of, I think, you know, reading between the lines, the sort of criticism that gets thrown at a lot of things these days is that you get the ones that have kind of jokes for the kids and jokes for the adults, and I think that perhaps the thing with a lot of Miyazaki's work, certainly the stronger ones, is that they don't make that distinction, you know, it doesn't talk down to anyone, you know, it's the sort of thing that it works for kids, it works for adults, you know, I think that's the beauty of it, basically, you know, it's like you said, they've got the balance just kind of spot on here. I don't know, I just felt that, you know, maybe the ending, compared to some of the other Miyazaki films, I felt that it didn't draw, maybe it's just that it didn't draw an obvious conclusion. They are sort of dancing around having a message in the film, I feel, but it's not, when you get to the end, it's not terribly clear what that was exactly, I feel, but, you know, it's maybe, I don't know, I mean, do you feel that it's okay just to do that, to have something like in a family film where it is, the message isn't all that clear, but...
Well, are you arguing then that a family film should have a moral ending to it? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know if that's maybe what I feel that there ought to be in this film.
Because I feel that there is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I feel that there is, and it's difficult to say what it is without.
I don't know whether it's maybe just that I feel the ending should underscore that or not. I really don't know. Because I don't know. I just felt that there's something about the ending that just wasn't quite doing it for me. Maybe it's just that I can't quite pin down exactly what. But I thought that was the only thing that held the film back for me.
Maybe it's the pacing of the ending more than anything.
Well, that could be it.
Because it could just be that it needs a little coda, you know, it just needs
I think
a little
that
scene
been,
with what the characters are doing.
It is almost like a sort of snap ending, you know, it does seem to end very suddenly. Maybe that's just why it kind of threw me a little bit. But
So, your conclusion on the film then?
Oh, definitely go and watch it. I mean, I feel that... excuse me. I feel that, you know, it is a good thing to watch if you've not necessarily seen much in the way of anime before, because I think this is definitely one that would separate it out from being more than just a sort of disposable family or children's film. You know, there's definitely more to it than that. And, I mean, it's just a wonderful experience as well, you know, the design, the animation, the characters, everything is great, you know, I just didn't, you know, as I say, I just wouldn't rate it above Cagliostro, but, you know, I'm slightly biased.
I'm not rating it above it, I'm just saying I would find it difficult to choose between them, but I would echo what Alan said. It's a must watch. I mean, really, it blew me away, and it gave me a really nice sense of well-being, which, you know, if you can get that out of a film, I think that's fantastic. So definitely go watch it, and I will be going and getting my own copy of the DVD, definitely.